name is Bryson Shaw, and I'm going to be talking to you today about how I ran a marathon with little to no training. Running it was definitely the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I've never felt so sore after a workout than this one. I couldn't walk. So leading up before the race, I signed up 2 weeks before the race actually began. And before that, I work out. I try to work out, try to get in the gym at least every single day. But running is something that I really don't do. So the longest I've ever ran was probably 10 miles before this. Cumulatively in those 2 weeks, I probably ran about 18 miles total. And that's over that span of the 2 weeks. So the reason why I chose to run the full marathon was originally I'd planned on doing a marathon relay with 3 other people, and that kind of just fell through. We didn't have a 4th person that wanted to do it, and so I still wanted to do something, and so I looked online and saw the half marathon. I was like, oh, I'll just do the half marathon. The half marathon online was $85. And the full marathon was only $105. And so you're thinking, $20 more, why not? $20, 13 miles, no brainer. $20, sure. Yeah, I was very wrong on that. So food-wise, leading up to the actual race event, look online, you go everywhere, and it's talking about loading carb-heavy, drink lots of water, and eat a lot of water in between whenever you're signed up and when you actually want to do the race. And just in general, that healthy lifestyle, just drink a lot of water, try to drink a gallon a day. But if you're planning on doing a marathon and you haven't trained, for one thing, you want to have that water intake be going through the roof, and just be intaking carbs, just eat food that's healthy but also filling for your body and for your muscles, because on that day you're going to be burning a lot of calories. So the race was on a Sunday, and so Saturday I went and got some just garlic knots. I got pasta the week of, which is pasta, lasagna, just anything that was just spaghetti, just very carb heavy things, and just water. When race day came, all I had for breakfast that day was just maybe a banana, maybe some toast, and just a little tiny Powerade. I highly recommend getting those little Gatorade Chewies if you can. If you know what I'm talking about, then those just really help during the race. And in my opinion, you could have handed me a chocolate chip cookie and I probably would have got energy boost from it, to be honest. So race day came, and I show up. I luckily have my roommates come bring me to the actual event. And I'm looking around, and everybody there is pretty much doing the half marathon. There was probably about 1,000 people doing the half marathon compared to the full marathon when there was only about 200 people. So definitely a little intimidation factor with that, for sure. So race starts, you're going, trucking along. Not too bad at first, I'm a firm believer that running with other people definitely helps, and definitely just kind of gets your mind off what's going on, the actual hell you're about to experience. One thing I highly recommend is you really want to dress very comfortably. You don't want to wear stuff clothing that is restrictive, stuff that you're going to be very tight and constricted. Fortunately for me, I learned that the hard way. I wore Under Armour leggings, an Under Armour long sleeve, and to top all that off, it was pretty chilly that day, and it started to pour down rain, so I did not necessarily dress appropriate for this at all. And the leggings, for one thing, I was only maybe a mile and a half in, and they were completely constricting my legs, my calves. I was at the point that I wanted to just take them off and just throw them on the side of the road. During the race itself, if you've never run any type of major race, they'll have water for you, bananas, little pouch thingies that are strawberry, banana, and stuff, which those really help. Anytime they hand those out, grab them. Take as many as you can, put those things in your pockets, they'll definitely help you out. And another huge tip: make sure you go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom beforehand, but I'm not gonna lie, like I had to go take a dump during the actual race, and luckily it wasn't too bad, but it definitely it wasn't great. Another huge tip is you're definitely going to not want to chafe. Typically most races have fenders or anything of the such. I bought this stick, this anti-chafing like stick cream thing. It kind of looked like deodorant, and I mean I rubbed it everywhere, every nook and cranny you can think of, and it really helped. I did not chafe the entire race, which if I did chafe, it probably would have been a game changer. I probably would have been crying like a baby. You can do anything you set your mind out to. Don't let anybody tell you differently. As long as you have confidence, as long as you're confident with yourself and you just know that you want something, you want a goal in life, no matter what that is, no matter if that's finishing that race, like getting an A on an exam, like passing a class, doing whatever it might be, as long as you have confidence in yourself and you just have that drive and that want and that just relief and satisfaction after completing it, pass or fail, if you give it your all, you're gonna feel good about yourself. So that's my advice to y'all, is just keep grinding, keep striving, know what you want, and go after it, get after it, because if you get after it and you go after it, you can do it. With like the Lord on your side, you can do anything. During the race, I regretted signing up for the full marathon. I mean, I was hurting. I was only a couple miles in and I was in pain. I was like, why did I do this to myself? I just started having these thoughts, like I'm an idiot. Like, why did I do this? Why would I do this? Like, could have just signed up for the half, freaking done the 5K. And so once I got to the halfway point, I mean, I just see tons of people just going to the finish line who all ran the half marathon. And they have this lady standing there that's like redirecting people, like, oh, half marathon this way, full marathon that way. And I'm like, please, Lord, like, just live. I was thinking like, oh, I forgot, I actually meant to sign up for the half marathon, my bad, I need to go with them. But I just turned right and I just kept going. When you have a huge gap, when you have like a lot of people running the half marathon and not a lot of people running the full marathon, that's when it really becomes a mental game. Because when I turned right, I mean, you go from people to your left, to your right, in front of you, behind you, to a couple people here and there. It definitely helps when you have other people around you running, but when you don't have those people around you and it's just you, yourself, and if you have music, it's just you and your music at that point. And just your thoughts of, wow, I really regret doing this. So I didn't train for this, and when I got to about literally pretty much after the half marathon, like mile 14, 15, I started cramping, and it began in the bottom of my calves, and that pain just rose from the bottom of my calf to the top of my calf to my thigh to my inner groin, and it literally felt like somebody was just camping in a bush with a sniper and just sniping me right in the leg. I mean, I'd be running and all of a sudden just get like shot, and I would just bend over and start rubbing out my leg, and it basically becomes routine, like cramp, rub it out, walk, jog, cramp, walk, jog, cramp, walk, jog, cramp, just like a constant routine for pretty much the entirety of the rest of the race. When the cramps set in and when you start really hurting, you just gotta keep pushing forward. One other really big thing that made it hard was just the weather. It began to pour down rain. I'm talking like just a slight drizzle to a complete monsoon. And when that monsoon came, it was, I mean, I just started laughing at one point. I was like, is this for real? Like, is this seriously like happening right now? I mean, it was terrible. One thing that really helped during the race was I met a guy during the race, and he was from Miami, and he flew all the way to Chattanooga to run this race. And I was like, wow, that's determination. I mean, he told me he's ran a couple marathons, and he was like, man, they don't get any easier. And I was like, I'm sure they don't, and this is probably my last one. Running with him, he really motivated me and was like, man, just keep pushing. Even when I was just on my knees, like cramping, he's just like, man, you got it, you can do it, you got it. And so for the last like 2 miles, me and him were just like right side by side, like, If he started to walk, I was trying to push him to keep going. If I started to walk, he was pushing me to keep going. And so my advice to you is, if you're running it by yourself, if you have a buddy, if you have friends, like, stick together, like, push one another, because y'all are gonna need it. He's gonna need you, he or she, and like, you're gonna have to help them out. I mean, it's hard, especially if you don't train, if you don't put in the time and the effort to make this like easy. It's hard. So across the finish line was the biggest relief for me. It was just like, wow, I'm like done, it's over. They handed me this like heat blanket thing, and I'm like, I don't know how the heck to use this thing, but cool, thanks. And so when I finished, I mean, I was so drained, so tired. My hands were like freezing cold from the rain. I couldn't pull my phone out of my arm sleeve. I had to get some random guy to help me do that. They handed me a pizza, and I was like shaking, grabbing that pizza. And as you can see, like in these videos, that like I am just dead. I had to get my roommates to help me take off my clothes. I had to get help to the car, and when I got in the car, I just kind of just fell in, dove in, just started immediately cramping. Pretty much for most of the remainder of the day, I just laid on my couch just immobile, because it hurt to move anything or go anywhere. One super big tip I have from y'all as well is, after the race, even though you're not going to want to do anything, even though you're going to be like wanting to die in a hole, I highly recommend trying to stretch if you can. Like, I went and took a shower, like a hot shower, just kind of like loosened my muscles a little bit because they were so tight, and it was great. Getting a foam roller if you have one to roll out your muscles. Another tip after the race is try to ice your legs if you can. Ice where it hurts, ice where you like really started cramping. The next couple days are gonna suck. I had to miss work the next day because I just could not get out of bed. I sat on the edge of my bed and just lifted both of my legs over onto the bed, and I could not move. I was immobile. If you believe that you can do it, then by God, you can do it. Yeah, guys, so good luck on your next marathon. You can do it. I believe in you. You just got to believe in yourself, and see you on that finish line.